Things about Cleopatra that history books don't tell you. What if I told you that almost everything you think you know about Cleopatra is wrong? Hollywood often paints her as a seductive beauty who used her looks to influence powerful men. But the real Cleopatra? She was a multilingual ruler, a military strategist, and one of the most intelligent leaders of the ancient world. You've probably seen her depicted as this exotic Egyptian goddess with elaborate eyeliner and dark skin, right? Well, here's the first shocker. Cleopatra wasn't actually Egyptian at all. She was Greek. Her full name was Cleopatra VII Philopator, and she belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, descendants of Ptolemy I, a Macedonian Greek general under Alexander the Great. The Ptolemies had ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. But here's what makes her absolutely incredible. Unlike her Ptolemaic ancestors who ruled Egypt without bothering to learn the native tongue, Cleopatra was the first in her line to actually speak Egyptian. According to the ancient historian Plutarch, she knew several languages, possibly up to 9, including Egyptian, Greek, Latin, Hebrew, Aramaic, and possibly ancient Nubian or other African dialects. Imagine mastering that many languages in an era without language apps. Now, let's talk about her appearance, because this might surprise you even more. We actually know what Cleopatra looked like thanks to ancient coin portraits. These show a woman with a strong nose, narrow lips, and a confident expression, definitely not the Hollywood ideal of beauty. But here's the thing. Roman historian Cassius Dio noted that it was her charm, voice, and intellect that captivated people, not conventional beauty. Her power came from her wit and charisma. Cleopatra was incredibly well-educated, raised in Alexandria, home to the great library and museum, where she had access to the best tutors of her time. She had a deep interest in pharmacology and reportedly studied poisons, which was actually a common practice among ancient elites who needed to protect themselves from assassination attempts. And speaking of leadership, let's clear up another Hollywood myth. At the famous Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, Cleopatra didn't just sit on the sidelines. She played a key strategic role and commanded her own fleet of around 60 ships alongside Mark Antony against Octavian's forces. While historians debate exactly how the battle unfolded, there's no question she was actively involved in military strategy, not just romance. Comment below and tell me, which of these facts has surprised you the most so far? Because we're just getting started with the misconceptions. Here's perhaps the most important truth about Cleopatra. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony weren't just passionate love affairs. They were brilliant political alliances designed to preserve Egyptian independence. When she met Caesar in 48 BCE, she could speak with him in perfect Greek and Latin, discussing philosophy and governance as equals. These were strategic partnerships between intellectual equals, not just romantic entanglements. But here's where the story gets really interesting and really tragic. After Cleopatra's defeat and death, Octavian, who became Augustus Caesar, launched one of history's most successful propaganda campaigns. Roman poets like Horace and other historians deliberately portrayed Cleopatra as a foreign temptress who corrupted Roman virtue. Why? Because admitting they had been challenged by a brilliant foreign queen would have been embarrassing for the mighty Roman Empire. This propaganda campaign was so effective that it shaped how we see Cleopatra for over 2,000 years. The Romans turned her into a seductive caricature to diminish her actual political and intellectual achievements. They couldn't accept that a woman had nearly outmaneuvered their empire through pure intelligence and diplomatic skill. Here's something that will make you rethink everything. Under Cleopatra's rule, Alexandria remained one of the ancient world's most sophisticated cities. The Great Library, though already damaged by her time, still symbolized Egypt's incredible scholarly legacy. Alexandria had medical schools, brilliant scholars, and a sophisticated urban culture that rivaled or even surpassed Rome's in many aspects. And get this, Cleopatra wasn't just a ruler, she was essentially Egypt's CEO. She actively expanded Egypt's wealth through diplomacy and trade agreements with neighboring regions. She negotiated with Eastern kingdoms and maintained Egypt's economic independence through shrewd business deals. She wasn't just sitting on a throne, she was running a complex international operation. The real tragedy is what we've lost. Many ancient sources suggest Cleopatra wrote scholarly works on medicine and philosophy, but none survive today. We don't know if her writings were destroyed when parts of the Library of Alexandria were damaged, or simply lost through time. Imagine what we could learn if we had her actual words instead of Roman propaganda. So why does this matter today? Because Cleopatra represents something powerful. A multilingual, politically savvy leader who fought to keep her nation independent amid the rise of the Roman Empire. She wasn't just a glamorous queen reduced to romantic myths. She was a brilliant strategist who used every tool at her disposal: language, diplomacy, economics, and yes, strategic alliances to protect her people and preserve one of the world's greatest civilizations. The real tragedy isn't her dramatic death. It's how history erased her intellect and reduced her to a Hollywood fantasy. The next time someone mentions Cleopatra, don't think of Elizabeth Taylor in gold makeup. Think of a Greek-Egyptian queen who spoke 9 languages, commanded fleets, negotiated international trade deals, and nearly changed the course of Western civilization through pure intelligence. If this video opened your eyes to the historically verified truth about Cleopatra, smash that like button and subscribe for more fact-checked historical revelations that'll change how you see the past. What other historical figures do you think have been completely misrepresented by Hollywood and popular culture? Let me know in the comments.